All right, welcome to Dale Kramer's Custom Cars and Anything. And how are you guys doing today? Well, what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a couple things with the front suspension. And then we're going to move on to the fuel cell. And so what we got to do is we got to start by hanging the K-frame. Now, on my K-frame bolts, I put anti-seize on there. In case this thing ever breaks and you need to get it off, you can get it off. Okay. Just let that down there while I go grab another bolt. Sure feels good to sit there and put something together, you know what I mean? Because it was very hard work to get her this far. We're going in or just dreaming about it. Should grab a ratchet once. Let's see. I don't remember what the torque specs are on that, so I'll have to look that up later. Look that up later and figure that out. What's going on here? We tight already? Oh, we are. Huh. Well, I can dig on it. Okay, now, as for alignment, well, let's get them all in first. Let's get them all. Let's see, what did I take that out for? Let's go grab another one. Smear her up with some anti-sleaze. I got one left to do yet. Now we can. Let's see, we better loosen these. Better loosen them just a hair. There we go. I'll push that tool around. Let's just be careful. Paint might be soft yet. Let's see here. Oh, I had her. There we go. Now I got her all over the finger. I can wipe this off, otherwise it'll be on my face and in my eyes, on my nose, on my lips. You know how anti-seize gets. If you don't wipe it off right away before you. There, I touched my other finger already, and there. No, that's full. Okay. Let's bring that over here. Come on now. Why can't I get the socket in there? Okay. We'll back it off a little bit. Okay. one more to do. Let's go smear one more full of anti-seize, and then we can do some alignments. We'll have to torque this thing up later. I don't remember what the torque specs are. I looked them up. Suppose I can get my old book out and look quick. But I can still torque them up anytime. But will I forget? That's the question. That's the most important question, actually. Okay, now back off a little bit. Can we still move it around? No? No? Huh, because where I loosened it up far enough. I must have one too tight or something. Probably this one. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to look at the edge here. See, that's in, that's in. You know what? That looks to be about right because I have a little overlap here on the frame. This is what I can't. What's that? Overlap on the frame. Now is it forward or backward far enough? Okay. Okay, so it's only allowing me. Let's grab a tape measure. We'll do some measuring. I think we're going to be good right where it is, guys. I really do. And I'm not just saying that. Let's see, what's the best place to measure off of? What would be a good point? Trying to think here. There could be something. What is most permanent? Well, these body crossover mounts are jig welded, so maybe off of them, huh? Doesn't say in the manual where you should measure from or anything. Doesn't give you any indications of that. So let's, here's what we're going to do. To the center of the top of this circle, to this mount here, we're going to go 13 and 9/16, half inch 9/16. Yeah, 13 and 9/16. Look at the flies on me. I'll go down here. What the hell? There's only one of them. There's only one of them. Okay, that ain't gonna work. What about, let's try this. We got two crossover braces. Let's hook it into the end of that. .25 1/8. Well, as we're within the general area, I mean, yeah, it ain't gonna work either. God, there isn't like a permanent area because everything's all spot welded, jig welded, you know? So where is there a good area to measure from? Well, maybe we'll just have to trust it the way it is. And I think we can. 17 and 5/8 there. No, it's a little more than that. 17 3/4. Let's try this. I got 17 and 11/16. It's a 16th of an inch off there. Where else? That's good. That'll work. Then I check out my edges here. You know, they feel great. Well, let's snug it up. We'll look at it more later again. Because I got to torque them anyway. I'm just going to pull up on this corner here for the hell of it because the weight of it, you know, reverse psychology on the weight, on gravity. Because that moves that 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Good enough for now. I cannot forget to torque them though. I snug them up good and tight in case I forget. But that's not good enough. It's not good enough. So now let's what should we do next? I suppose we could put the shock mounts in. So let's grab that stuff. Okay. Gotta move some stuff around here. Now, here's our shark mounts. Okay, passenger side. That would be, I always got to look at this because this car's on its side. No. Now, on the inside of the frame rails on each side, I had to drill 1/2-inch holes. They go all the way through. First, I started with the 3/8 bit all the way through. Then on the inside, I had to go with 1/2-inch holes. Because what happens is that there's a sleeve you got to slide into the frame, and it's an anti-crush sleeve. So, a lot going on here in one time here right now. Let's see. Wow. I gotta grab some tools, guys, and stuff, and I'll be right back with you. All right. So anyway, we're gonna do the driver's side one first. Now, down here you'll see on the previous video, there's 4 holes drawn there. You gotta watch the previous video to understand how I made them. On the inside, there are 3/8 holes all the way through the frame rail, but then on the inside you gotta increase them to 1/2 inch. Okay? And because there's sleeves that go in there. Okay? So now that's the passenger side. Let's get out, you can kind of see what we're doing here. The car's on its passenger side on the rotisserie, so we're gonna do the driver's side, and I'm trying to get the best information I possibly can. So we just increased the camera angle. You can see those 4 holes. They go all the way through the frame rail, but the outer ones, I started with a 3/8 bit all the way through. And then on the other side, I had to come back just on the other side, 1/2-inch holes. I'll show you here in a second why we did that. I wonder if that's too close. Nah, maybe that isn't. Let's try that. I don't have a camera guy here, so. And then I used these plates too. I mean, first I drilled one all the way through 3/8. Then I took a plate and I put it on the other side. The frame is the ham sandwich. Is the ham in the ham sandwich. Now this is also grade 5 hardware, but I went to town and I bought grade 8 bolts. So we're going to replace this all with grade 8 bolts. So now remember, the inside I drilled 3/8 all the way through, 3/8 hole. Okay. You have to watch the previous video to understand what I'm saying here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull all these bolts out except for one. But I'm going to use the nuts though. Because the rest of it all be grade 8. I should have had some grade 8 nylocks too, but let me walk over here. I'm going to pull this all off. I need them. Now again, like I said, I want to keep the plate in the same order that when I was drilling this all, making this all, I want to keep it all the same, So, let's see. So what we're going to do, and pull out all the grade 5 hardware. Flies are just as bad as mosquitoes. They're hungry. They're biting me. They're hungry. They're starving out here in the garage. And I'm getting kind of really burnt out on that. I have fly tape in the house. And I'm going to be dropping a few of them. Okay, so now I replaced that's grade 8 hardware. It's 3.5 inch by 16 by 3/8 bolts. So now what we're going to do is I'm trying to keep this plate in order, okay? That's what I'm trying to do here. So now we're going to flip this over. Oh boy, maybe I got to expand that out. You guys can't see everything I'm doing, I don't think. At least I don't think anyway. Okay. I got to get these in place and I got to do something about these flies. Mosquitoes are gone for the year and now I got flies. Okay, so now, oh shoot, forgot to take this bolt back out. Let's just throw a nut on here. I want to keep this all in order, you know what I mean? I'm pretty anal about it. Okay, that one fly apart now. Okay, so let's, well, I thought I'd just put that on there hand tight, I thought. Okay. Flies, you got my concentration all screwed up because you're trying to go in my eyes. What is it lately about flies? Even the neighbors been saying they've been increasing. Is it because our frog population is dropping or something? Or bats or something maybe? I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Now, you see that there's a bolt here that's going to go through here and it's going to go through that shock tower. So it's going to be fastened here and here. Because this is going to hold the weight of the vehicle. And this, oh, touch down. This tower by itself can't do it. So they got to run this all together. And now, I bought grade 8 hardware, and this plate, I want to keep it exactly the same. I don't want to turn this plate, flip this plate, because when I drilled this, I use this as a template. So I want to put this all back together the way it was. That's why I'm being so anal about making sure that this... So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this plate off the same way. Now I'm going to lay this on here. If I can get the bolts to drop through, which I just did. Then we're just going to put this on here just with one nut. Okay. And pull this bolt back out now so we can turn this. Okay. So now I'll grab, now here's the why you had to go 1/2 inch on the inside. Now these are sleeves, there's 4 of these per side. So we're going to slide that up in here. Let's see, as soon as we find everything. Slide that up in there. Then we're going to take this bolt. I put a washer on this side because I bought extra. I'm going to slide that bolt. I want to catch that thing because I don't want to lose this in the frame. That could tip over and it's gone for good. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this back off as soon as we get this in position so we can keep the same way we took it off. Okay? Now we're going to pull this off. We're going to keep this the same way. Then I'm going to go to work and put it back up here with another flat washer because I got nylocks. I'm going to put it through there. Okay? There. Now we know we got everything in the same position again. Now it's rinse and repeat. I shouldn't have went through all the way to plate with the 1/2-inch holes. Or did they come that way? No, they didn't come that way. I think I took the drill bit all the way through. And I shouldn't have done that. So now I'm going to double up my washers. Okay, so we put the bolt through. I'll put this up. Now, this is the point where I'm going to double up my washers for strength. And I'm using grade 8 hardware. Obviously, I have the nut totally backwards. Okay. Another sleeve. Oh, don't forget our bolts. We don't want to lose that sleeve in the frame rail here. But the only mistake I did is I took a 1/2-inch hole all the way through that outer plate. So now I'm going to double up the, I'm going to go grab more washers. I'm going to double up these washers for more strength. So that mistake is what I did on my part. Just drill your 3/8 holes all the way through, you know. Then make sure you get rid of this plate. Keep it in the same direction though. When you drill the 3/8 holes through. I hope you're understanding this. I'm probably confusing everybody. You know. Okay. Let me go grab some more washers. I'll be right back. No, I screwed up when I did that part though. Let's just grab some more washers here. Hopefully I got enough of these. Okay. I'll take our grade 8 bolts, throw a nice washer on it. I always watch, they're pressed out or whatever. I like the nice round edge on the outside, the flat edge on the inside. Then we'll take our bolt, we'll slide her through. Okay, and then we'll slide our... Now that last one might be a bear because everything's got to kind of move. Should fit right in there. And I noticed that these sleeves they're a little different each one. So let's go get a little hammer and we'll just tap on it a little bit. I think we'll be just fine. We don't have to wail on it. It should go through there. It wants to now already, but it just needs that little edge, But yeah. See, just needed that little love tap, I wonder if I can push that up by hand, maybe, since I got it all started. Yeah, oh yeah, it goes right up right by hand. Yeah, cool. Now, we'll use the nut to push it up now a little bit more. Oh yeah, it goes up right away. Okay, then we gotta have our double washers. I'm doubling up the washers on the inside because I made the mistake. I drilled that 1/2-inch hole through this plate, and I should have never did that. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now as for the where the old shock used to go, now you got this counter set bolt and a counter set washer. Put it on there like that. Then you run it through the thing, and then you'll screw this nut on there, this nylock. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. Got to reach around. Got to go the other way, I guess, with my arm. Reach around, push that sucker through there. I'm going to pull this off. Oh, and I'll show you that in a minute. Then we'll put that nut on there. You can use a socket or something to reach in there. I barely got long enough fingers for that. And also, too, there's actually a left and a right to these brackets. Now, I believe, according to the picture, now these holes, this is where your shock will mount to. This is the top mount for your coilover shock. Okay. Now the bigger hole, there's a bigger hole on one side. Okay, and that's where this bushing you'll have in a kit. This bushing goes in there, and what will happen is that'll correct the shock, and you want that forward because I believe they're thinking if you ever lose the nut, this will stay intact. If you put this in the back and put the nut in the front, then the bolt will fly out because of the direction of travel. But if you still got torque on it because you're going forward, the bolt will stay in there until this thing loosens up, and then finally you're going to get a shimmy because of shock, and then you'll know it's loose. Okay, so we got all that hardware in. I got to put one more washer on this one. This one's only got a single washer. I got to go dual. Now, there's no torque specs on nothing. So you have to use your mechanical genius mind to figure that out. Okay? So I'm going to hand tighten everything right now. So what should we do first? Let's just snug up the shock tower one, since I got all the tools in my hand. The directions are very vague. It seems like a good product, but I think they should do something with the guy's probably like me, he can fab everything, but he can't explain it right. He can to a certain degree like I can. Okay, that's just snugged up for now. Now let's get a 9/16 wrench and a 9/16 socket. Let's snug them up. I gotta walk over here and grab one. Okay, there's that. We gotta walk over here and get a wrench. No, I'm not trying to cut anybody down. I'm just trying to be as informative as I possibly can. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or anything. I don't know. I guess if a guy had a Duster frame, you could figure that out on your own. You could torque it until either the bolt breaks or the frame starts crushing, and then you would know the stencil strength. That way you know the torque specs. You don't want to over torque nothing. These bolts too, I wonder if they could have been a size shorter. It's time you tighten these up, they're extending through. But maybe it's because they want it to run out of thread, so it kind of locks everything together, you know. So you can't tighten it up more. Maybe that's the reason. There's always an engineer reason to everything, you know what I mean? No, she crushed it. Almost crushed my finger too at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can't get nothing smaller. I don't know. I'd like to hack them off so they're not so damn long. So I might hack them off yet. Problem is though, I want the sparks on my new clear-coated engine bay. On my previous videos, you can watch me clean that and paint that and everything. God, look at the flies here, hey guys. Just crazy. As soon as I turned the heat on, they went nuts. They were like, oh God, that feels so good. Now we can come out of our hiding spots. But I will do a bolt check on this thing. Okay, we're getting there. And we got another one to do. Everything's pairs on this thing, it seems. Let's just run through them. Boy. Oh. I think we're gonna go the opposite way now. I could feel it. It's hitting that crush sleeve and stopping the nut from turning. So that's actually good. So let's do it this way. Wow, they got that figured out just right in there. Now I can see why they're using them lengths. You run out of thread, and it locks it all together. Woo! Almost there. Okay. I still wonder though, if you have a crush sleeve in there, why couldn't you go with shorter bolts? I think if you went one size smaller, they'd be perfect. They wouldn't stick through like that. I'm gonna actually go to town later. I'm gonna buy 8 3-inch whatever bolts instead of 3.5. I'm thinking, and I'm wondering if a guy should take those nylocks off too because of engine heat. Could those nylocks go to heck and then they come loose? There should be a pinched lock nut so heat doesn't distort them. If that nylock, or should I go with lock washers? See, we can do certain things here to make this better, you know. So let me take you on a tour and I'll show you what I mean. So you can see how they stick through. I mean, I think if I go one size shorter bolt and then go with pinched lock nuts, wouldn't that be safer? Because you got those, now I got those sleeves inside the chassis here, you know? So you can't over tighten them, you know? So there's the tour. Again, you can see where the bushing is there. That's got a bigger hole on that side than this side. And I believe with the picture, and that makes total sense. Here, I'll go to the other side. Now you can see on the shock tower, unfortunately I got the light on there, but you can see with the shock tower, that's the driver's side one. I'm going real close here. You know, with the concave washer and bolt. And then here's what it looks like before you do anything. So anyway, let's just keep this ball rolling, I guess, here. Now here I got hang on a minute. Now here I got a 3-inch bolt. And it goes right to the edge. So I think those could actually be, here's the bolts that are in there. They're 3.5 inches long, you know? So this is a 3.5-inch bolt, okay? And they measure it from the bottom of the hex to the end of the shank, to the thread. And then this is a 3-inch bolt. This is 3.5, this is 3. Now if I hold them side by side, you can see how much shorter this is. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So I'm guessing that with the crush sleeve that we installed inside the frame rail, I'm guessing you could get by with a 3-inch bolt than with a pinched lock nut on it. Okay? Because that nylock, if that gets warm, because you got to remember the headers are coming through here. If those nylocks get warm, they're going to come loose. And you don't want this thing coming loose on you. So I think the improvements on this kit could be a 3-inch bolt with pinched lock nuts or nuts with lock washers, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, I really think that a person could. Well, it'd be 3" with a pinched nut, otherwise it won't be long enough. Because I got dual washers on there right now. So, or you can simply cut these off, but then if I cut these off now with the nuts on there, that nylock is going to get hot. Then that nylock isn't going to work anymore. Then you have to replace the nylock's nuts again. So yeah, I think there's room for improvement. I mean, mega improvement, which would be really nice cosmetically. It would look good, you know. So, and then go with grade 8 hardware. So anyway, let's call this a video. And I'm not gonna film the other side. I gotta do the exact same thing what I just did. So, and I'm gonna go do that. And then this will be it for now. And then I gotta start installing the fuel cell. So on the next video, let me show you what I'm gonna do here. On the next video, we're gonna install that fuel cell. I gotta cut a rubber mat for the top of it because this thing will be, obviously, that'll be the top, you know. It's got, and I already made the holes and everything. I gotta make my clamps, you know. I gotta go dual clamps to hold it in. And I put a rubber mat between the floor and the aluminum, because with steel rubbing on aluminum, you know what that does. What does that do? It'll eat through the aluminum and you'll have a hole in your fuel tank with the vibration of the car. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to run the fuel line somewhere here, wherever, you know. And then it'll be a 3/8 line, and then we'll run it up and put a clamp on the firewall and we'll leave it a foot long or something. Later on, when we put the motor in, then we know where we got to bend it to and hook it up to, and that way we have enough fuel line there. This will be a carbureted Gen 3 Hemi. But I thought about putting fuel injection. Well, if I put fuel injection on it, then I got to run another line back to the tank. I got to run a heavy-duty pump. That's something we can do later. Let's just make it carbureted for now, and then we'll go back and see what we can do. So anyway, please like and subscribe, guys. I'm going to do this to this side now. I'm not going to film that because it's just be repeating myself again, you know. And I think if you just mirror this side to that side, I think you're just fine. Torque specs, I do not know them. I can't help you out with that. You just got to kind of tighten them up and see if you got a good torque arm, you'll understand where they got to be. But yeah, so see if we can see that a little better. Dang light blinds everything out. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Please like and subscribe, guys. Yeah, it helps support the channel. Bye-bye.